Oh, yeah, here we go again. Hello, and welcome into Ray on Sports. I am your host, Johnny Ray. In this podcast, we talk all things sports from my own opinion. You may agree or you may disagree, but all I do is ask that you listen. So come on in, buckle up, and let's take this ride. Hello. Welcome again to Ray on Sports. I am your host, Johnny Ray. And in this podcast, we're talking all things sports. So this week, let's talk Super Bowl. First and foremost, Super Bowl. So last week I had my take on the Super Bowl. I was wrong. You can't be wrong. You can't be wrong in certain things. I was wrong. I thought Kansas City would win it, but apparently they didn't. The Eagles won. And I watched the Super Bowl, and it was very, very dominating fashion that they won. It was no refs had to make a call, the questionable calls. They said there were some questionable calls, but I don't, for the most part, maybe the first play, the first throw that Jalen Hurts threw to A.J. Brown when they called the offensive pass interference, that was kind of questionable, but it didn't hinder the outcome of the game. From the first half, the Eagles came out there and was beast. They was beasting. I believe in their mind, they said, this is our time. He got us last time, but this is our time, and we're going to get him this time. So they came out there and did their thing, won the game 40-22, but the scoreboard doesn't really tell a game. The game was, for those who didn't see it or didn't know about it, score was 24-0 at halftime. 24-0. Eagles over the Chiefs. Eagles did it with a great defense. Eagles did it with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts got the MVP of the Super Bowl, and he is well-deserved because he did his thing. He did what he had to do. Now, if you know the Chiefs' defense, let me talk a couple of things about the game, and then we'll move on to something else, because, I know everybody's talking about it. I just wanted to, give my take, because I know I put it out there last time that I think the Chiefs was going to win because Patrick Mahomes was the face of the league, but I was mistaken. He might still be the face of the league, but not this year. And before I get to that, I think Tom Brady was calling the game. He's the play-by-play analysis for the game, and he's analyst. I'm sorry, for the game, and he said, "Yeah, we felt the same way when the Giants beat us." He said, "You go in there, you think we're the big dogs, we're gonna get it, we're gonna run." He said, "But we ran into a team that was more hungry than we were at the time, and that's why the Giants, Eli Manning and the Giants, beat them in that Super Bowl." So he admitted that. He said, "Yeah, that happens. You get in there, you think you're the people, and you're the person, and nobody can stop you, and then somebody comes in there and stops you." And then you go on, and then you got to rewind and refocus and regroup. Go, okay, wait a minute, what just happened? He said, Tom Brady said after the Super Bowl, he said he thought it was a bad dream, and he's gonna wake up and they're gonna play the game. But no, Tom, it wasn't a bad dream. But see, that's the things I pick up on when I listen to commentating. But anyway, back to the game. So Patrick Mahomes went, 21 for 32 for 257 yards. Now, mind you, all these majority of these yards came after the game was already decided. Fourth quarter, they was already up. I think they were, Philly was already up, and Kansas City ended up scoring 16 points in the fourth quarter. So a lot of these yardage that I'm looking at happened then, because there was one, big play to, what's the guy's name? Oh my God, I'm sorry. Xavier Worthy. He caught a touchdown. And that was like a 50-yard touchdown. So that's, a lot of Patrick's yards came after the game was already decided. Patrick got sacked 6 times for a loss of 31 yards. His QBR was 11.4. Jalen Hurts, 17 for 22, 221 yards. He averaged 10 yards per play, 2 touchdowns, one pick. He got sacked twice. His QBR was 75.4. QBR, I'm not too into that. I don't know what that means. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm not into, the QBR. I don't even know what that rating is about, but his QBR was 75.4. So, it was good. It was a good game. The difference was that the Chiefs came in saying that they were going to stop Saquon Barkley. That was their main focus, stop the run. And they did that because Saquon only had 57 yards, 25 carries for 57 yards. He was averaging like two yards per carry. The bulk, like I said, bulk of that yardage came at the end, when the game was already decided. Jalen Hurts, the one that killed him. 11 carries for 72 yards. 11 carries for 72 yards. Patrick Mahomes only had 4 carries for 25 yards. So that tell you right there the game right there. But the biggest thing about this game was the defense. Like I said, the defense. Philly's defense had like I said, they had, what did they have? I'm sorry. They had 6 sacks on Patrick Mahomes. And they played a 4-man front. So it wasn't like they were blitzing. They wasn't coming playing man on the outside and blitzing Patrick. But if you'd have blitzed Patrick, he would have ate him up. So they decided they trusted their front four to get the job done, and they front four got the job done. Zach Braun, Josh Sweat, Orion Burks, Milton Williams. That was the front four right there, and they got the job done. Milton Williams had 2 sacks. Josh Sweat had 2 sacks. Jordan Davis had a sack. Jalen Hunks had I don't know what a .5 sack is, half a sack. I guess if you get him or you deter him into the other guy and the other guy gets a sack, I guess you get credit for half a sack. I guess I'm assuming that's how it works. I don't know. But they had about 6 or 7 hits on Mahomes just in general. Now, for any quarterback, I don't care how good you are as a quarterback. If you start getting hit a lot, that changes your whole perspective on the game. You start doing things outside your comfort zone. And I think they got Patrick outside his comfort zone. The O-line wasn't holding up too much for Patrick. I'm watching the game and I'm watching the replays and I'm watching these guys just busting through the lines. I think Josh Sweat was just coming through. Boom. He ran into the old lineman, pushed him right back into Patrick. See, the worst thing about it, they call it a pocket for the quarterback. Quarterback only had like 2 seconds, and I think Tom Brady had talked about that before. You only got like about 4 seconds in the pocket, and you got to make a decision. Patrick couldn't make a decision because he couldn't find nobody. And like I said, they're playing 4. Everybody else is dropping back, so they're not in man coverage. They're in what they call zone coverage, which means everybody has a zone. If you don't know football that well, you don't know what zone coverage is. Zone coverage is you're not really on one player. You're like passing them off. Like if a player goes across you and then you pass them off to the next guy. That guy passes off to that guy. And they playing, you double teaming when you can. You playing off of one guy. The guy that you don't think going to do that well, offensively, you like, yeah, leave him with him. You take him, we'll handle everybody else. So that's kind of what they were doing. And Patrick was like looking around. Even his favorite target, Travis Kelce, wasn't even a factor. Travis Kelce only had 4 catches for 39 yards. He's usually a big factor. He's usually that go-to receiver when everything else breaks down for Patrick Mahomes, and he couldn't even find Travis. There's a video out there that showed Travis like mad, and they showed it and they said it was after the game. No, I remember this was at halftime. Travis was upset, pissed off. He didn't know what was going on. He couldn't understand it. But then it was said before, and I don't know who said it, but somebody has said the only way to beat the Chiefs is you got to score on them, and you got to score a lot. Don't get in a one score game with them because they'll find a way to win. And that's what the Eagles did. The Eagles said, we're going to score a lot. We're going to run this score up. I don't know if they not say they did it on purpose, but they did it with a purpose to win. So they weren't out there saying, we're going to take this from them. We're going to leave it to the refs. We're going to leave it to questionable calls. We'll be seen. And I don't know if they watched the AFC Championship game or any of the playoff games that the Chiefs were in, but they were saying, we're not leaving it up to the refs. We're not leaving it up to a questionable call or a first down or a 4th and inches. We're not leaving it to that. We're going to go out there and get ours. And it will be no doubt in their mind that we won this game. And the talk today that put Jalen Hurts in the elite category of elite passers. Josh Allen, your Joe Burrows, your Lamar Jacksons. That they put him in that category. I would say if you won a Super Bowl, that puts you in the conversation. And put you in the conversation. You won a Super Bowl over the one who's supposed to be the GOAT of the league. You went over him, and your team does it, and you literally do it because they put the ball in your hands and said, you got to beat us. And he did that. And the reason why I say that is because they could have said, well, Saquon Barkley won the game for him. If he would have had like maybe 200-something yards rushing and Jalen would have had maybe 100-something yards passing, then they would have said, yeah, Saquon. If they didn't have Saquon, they would have won the game. They wouldn't have won the game. But Saquon, they shut him down. Like I said, he only had like 57, I think he said 57 yards. Yeah, 57 yards. Saquon only had 57 yards. So it wasn't Saquon that beat him. Jalen beat him. Jalen Hurts said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to show them who I am. And they talked about him, they talked to Jalen before the game and asked him, how do you feel about the last time you played him and y'all lost? And he said, I sat there for a long time and said, we'll be back. we'll be back. And they came back and they did it. And I'm sure in his mind, when they're going through the playoffs, he said, I wish it's Patrick. I wish it's Patrick. Because when you're playing in a high level like that and you lose to your rival or the person that you're supposed to beat, and the next year you win the Super Bowl or you win whatever championship it is, and it's not against that person, the people will say, well, yeah, if so-and-so was in there, they wouldn't have won. So if the Eagles would have beat, say, Buffalo, then they would say, well, it's not Patrick. He didn't beat Patrick, but he beat, Buffalo. Buffalo was second, and they consider the Chiefs and then Buffalo the second tier. They consider Patrick Mahomes and then Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry. The tier I think they most consider right now is Patrick is at the top, Mahomes is at the top, and then Josh Allen, and then Lamar Jackson, and then Joe Burrow. That's the tier they're doing right now. So if he would have played any other, and mind you, all these quarterbacks are in the AFC. NFC quarterbacks, nah, they're there, but AFC's got it right now. So if Jalen would have beat anybody else but Patrick, I'm sure that the conversation today was, well, Patrick Mahomes wasn't in, the Chiefs wasn't in. If the Chiefs wasn't in, then it would have been a different story. So he shut those people down. Now, here's the thing. Now you've become the hunted, which means when you go back, start playing again next year, people are coming after you because you just won. And it doesn't matter. I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. It doesn't matter who the team is. You could be the worst team in the league. You can have a 1-5 record or a 1-12 record. If you beat the defending Super Bowl champs, you put a chip on your shoulder. Yeah, I beat them. Yeah, we beat them. Yeah, we beat them. Yeah, we beat them. That's how people feel. It goes that way in any sports. The Boston Celtics are going through that right now in the NBA. Every team that comes after them is coming hard for them because you're the champs. And they measure themselves against you. Oh, you the champs. We can beat you. The Lakers did it for a long time. People would always come after the Lakers. They still come after the Lakers because they're the Lakers. People come after the Celtics because they're the Celtics. People come after the Knicks because they're the Knicks. Football. People come after the Chiefs because they're the Chiefs. They come after Buffalo because they're Buffalo. Baseball. People come after the Dodgers because they're the Dodgers. People come after the Yankees because they're the Yankees. Hockey, same thing. You got Calgary, you got Winnipeg, you got the Islanders, you got all these other teams. And people come after you because of who you are, of your lore. I guess it was your lore of being, championship caliber teams. And when other teams play you, that's what they go after. Single sport. You're the Tiger Woods of golf. Tiger Woods. They came after him because he was Tiger Woods. That's what they came after him. They like, I got to be Tiger Woods. Like I said, I can go on and on about different sports that go through that, but that's how it is today. If I beat them, I can beat anybody. That's what they say because they measure themselves up against the best in the world. People measure themselves up against LeBron. If I can beat LeBron, then I can beat anybody. When Kobe was, God rest his soul, when he was here, if I could beat Kobe, we can beat anybody. That's the mentality people have in sports, and it's not a bad mentality to have. It raises your game up. And I think I heard that once, or a commentator for the Lakers, because I'm a diehard Laker fan, so I listen to all the games. But a commentator did say that one time. He said every team that comes in here plays the Lakers raises their game because it's the Lakers. Whether they have a winning season or a losing season, they raise their game, and I'm sure that's good. I'm sure that's true in any other sport. You raise your game when you play championship caliber teams. When you play teams that every year they're in the conversation. Even if they're not in the conversation, they're in the conversation. If the Chiefs go 1-8 next year, they're still in the conversation of the Chiefs. That's all it is. Because it'll be something. Well, the reason why they 1-8 because this happened or that happened, or there's an injury to here or something. It'll be something. But they'll still be in the conversation of championship teams. Just like the Niners are still in the conversation of championship team. They didn't make it to the playoffs this year, but they're still in the conversation. I think the odds makers already came out and said they have a minus 700%, 700, whatever it is. I don't know the betting odds like that, but I think I saw something like that saying they're still in the conversation. You know what I mean? So it's a thing to be a champion. You get in the conversation. It's a thing to go to a franchise that has championship aspirations. And what I mean, see, now I'm segueing into something else. Championship aspirations. Their teams, and I think I did a podcast about this before, but I'll go over it a little bit more, just a little bit, and then we're gonna move on to something else. When you have a championship caliber organization, your fans think nothing championship bust, championship or bust, championship bust. That's all they think about. And so organization, if it's run the right way, they have the same mindset, championship or bust, because they know what the fans expect. So Laker organization, the Golden State organization, The Celtic organization, the Knick organization. Now I think the Bucks are there. San Antonio was there. They might still try to be there. There's different organizations like that that have that mentality that we're going to win and we're going to do whatever we, and and management has that mindset that whatever it takes to win, we're going to win. And what players we need to make us win, we're going to get them. And that's what they do. That's just part of being a champion. That's how you get the champion. That's how you get in the conversation of a championship is, the things you do in your front office, the things you do in the off season, the players you bring in, the players you get rid of, all that plays a factor in there. And it's also the way of having players that can play with each other. You can't just grab superstars and put them together a la Lakers when you got Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, Gary Payton. Didn't work. They grabbed a whole bunch of people, put them together with different. And the reason why I said, yeah, to me, when it happened, I knew it wasn't going to work because each player that they got has a different mindset about the game. Gary Payton was Gary Payton. He was a facilitator, but he was also, had to have the ball in his hand. Karl Malone had to have the ball in his hand. They brought in Steve Nash, had to have the ball in his hand. They got Kobe already. You got Shaq already. So that whole mindset, you got to have players, and I think I talked about this before. You got to have players on your team that's willing to buy in. Yes, you got to have your superstar, the person that pushes you guys over when everything else fails. But you got to have those role players around you that understand the game. You can have a Batman and Robin, but you're also going to have I put it in a Despicable Me. You got to have your minions. You got to have your main guy, his cohort, and then your minions around you that help you get over the hump. So that's segues me into the NBA. Oh my God, the NBA trading. First of all, last week, I think it was last Sunday. Yes, I was in Vegas, and I told you guys I was in Vegas. I went to Vegas, and midnight Saturday night, there was a text that I got from my niece, and she said they got rid of him. He's gone. AD's gone. I said, what? No, come on. They said, no, AD's gone. I'm like, yeah, I know. Lakers just played in the game, and he's out because he's hurt, and they sent him back to LA. She's like, no, he's gone. What? AD? So I looked it up. Sure enough, Shams Charania from ESPN NBA Insider reported that Anthony Davis got traded to the Dallas Mavericks for Luka Doncic. That trade threw everybody in a frenzy, a buzz, wow, oh my God kind of way. And the crazy part about it, after I read everything, was that nobody knew about the trade. Nobody, not even LeBron. LeBron was shocked. The agents were shocked. The only person that was in on it was Rob Pelinka and Nico. I think his name is Nico Collins, Nico something from the Mavericks manager, GM. There's only two people who knew about it. Now, the story behind them is that they've been knowing each other for years because he was head of Nike's something in Nike, and that's how him and Rob met because Kobe was with Nike, and they had a good relationship, so that's how they, I guess, knew each other. But that was it. That was huge. You got rid of AD for Luka. The difference in age: AD's 31, Luka's 25. So in basketball terms, that means Luka hasn't even reached the prime of his career, and Dallas got rid of him. Now the problem with it was they were saying that manager GM from Dallas was saying that Luka wasn't in shape and they wasn't really willing to invest all that money in him. Now, when they say invest all that money, Luka was scheduled to be Supermax, get the Supermax deal, which in basketball means you get the max you can get from a team. That each team is granted from the NBA to pay one player a Supermax deal, which means they can pay him the max of what they want. So his max was, I think, 5 years, $500 million. Because they traded him, he's not eligible for it anymore, which means he has to, I don't know what the eligibility is, how long he has to be with a team to get it, but Luka is not eligible for it anymore, so he has to re-sign with the Lakers for a lesser price. Maybe, I think, $100 million is less than what he would have to make. Lakers have to make him a significant, great offer for him to stay. But they traded him, and they said because of his conditioning. That's what they were saying. But it's all about money. I know it's all about money. They can make all the jokes and well he's not the, because Luka is a face of any franchise. I've seen Luka play. I know how Luka plays, but I'm glad he's with the Lakers now. But I've seen him play before, and Luka's a outstanding player, outstanding international player. And what makes him so good is because he used to play internationally. So internationally, when he was, I think they say when he was 16, he led a team to a championship. So he already, by the time he got to the NBA, he was already seasoned, ready to go. So when he walked in the NBA, he was like, "This ain't nothing. I play in Europe. In Europe, we play harder than this. Not harder, but different styles." But he knew. So when he came to Dallas, they was like, "Oh, that's the golden child." He's going because every team has to have that player that takes over for the start of leaving. And I can't speak for too many teams because I only follow the Lakers. But for the Lakers, it was Magic. When I started, really getting into basketball, it was Magic and Kareem. Actually, before that was Jerry West and, Wilt Chamberlain and all them. So when Wilt and them left, the franchise had to go to somebody else. Magic steps in. Magic, Kareem, that whole team, Byron Scott, James Worthy, all those guys came in. So that was the face of their franchise, and that's what carried them until the next regime popped up. Next regime that popped up was Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. And Kobe took him as long as he could. I love Kobe. I watched him since the day he got drafted until the day he retired. And, we unfortunately lost him. But that's what teams do. So every year you got to find that person, that one player that's going to, one, take you to a championship heights, two, attract players to come play with him, and three, make you relevant. So that's what Kobe did. And then after that, LeBron showed up. So LeBron is the player that's he came here and he won a championship. They might call it the bubble championship, but I believe in the history books it's gonna say championship, and they're gonna say bubble and they're gonna asterisk by it. Just like the San Antonio Spurs 94, 95 championship was won during the lockout season. It's still a championship. It still counts. So you can call it a bubble championship if you want. It's still a championship. It still hangs in the banners. There's still a trophy sitting up there. So with that said, now we have Luka. And the mindset now is that Luka's the new face of the franchise. So LeBron is 40 years old, still playing at a high level. He just, the last game he played against the Warriors, he had 42 points and like six or six and like I think maybe 12 rebounds. Maybe I'm just quoting. I'm just speculating, but I think that's what it was. So they're still riding LeBron, but they're thinking about the future. And from what I heard, I listen to all kind of different podcasts and sports states. That's where I get my information from, and I read. The internet is a wonderful thing. YouTube is a wonderful thing. When you're sitting home late at night, nothing to do, I'm on YouTube watching sports things, and besides sports is my big thing plus wrestling. But I listen to a lot of sports, and I listen to a lot of commentating, and they were saying about how LeBron got rejuvenated when they got Luka. He hated to see AD go because him and AD, they're good friends. They've been together. They've been together for like 4 years now. I think it's 4 to 5 years. They won a championship together. AD got his house out here. Him and LeBron kids are know each other. All that stuff. Family. They're family. So to hear him get moved was a big shock to LeBron. But he's in the same aspect. He's grateful to be playing with Luka because Luka and LeBron play almost about the same thing. They're unselfish when it comes to basketball and you can tell an unselfish player by their assists. LeBron's averaging like almost 10 assists a game. Luka averages up maybe about 10 assists a game on a good day. But they have that gene inside. They have that thing inside of them that when the game's on the line, give me the ball and I'll take you guys through. Luka showed it last year in the Western Conference Finals and you can look at that video when he shook Rudy Gobert. When he had Rudy Gobert on him and took him dancing. That's what I call it. He took him dancing. Boom, 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 bam, and he shot a three over him, bam. And then talk trash about it, which he had the right to do because he shot over you. So I have nothing against that. That's part of the game. That's part of the competition. So Lakers have Luka Doncic now, 25 years old. He's supposed to make his season debut tonight, and I'm recording this podcast on a Monday night. This is Monday. What's today? Monday the 10th. Yeah, Monday, February 10th. So I'm recording the podcast right before the game. The game starts in about another hour. So I wanted to get this podcast in before the game started. And I'll probably give you some quick takes about the game afterwards and send some takes out on my X channel or my TikTok channel. If you're looking for me on TikTok, Johnny Ray / Ray on Sports, and every once in a while I give you a little excerpt. But this podcast will be on Apple Podcasts, it'll be on Spotify, it'll be on YouTube, it'll be wherever you get your podcast. And you can even tell your smart speaker to play Ray on Sports, and it'll bring up the episodes. But that's my take on that. Now, the last thing along those lines of trades, there was a trade. There was one more trade that the Lakers were going to do because they had lost Anthony Davis. I'm sorry. Besides that, the Lakers, Jimmy Butler finally found a home. He's in Golden State. From what I heard, he had a great debut as a Warrior. He scored like 20-some points. I didn't see the game. I didn't really look for it. I didn't look it up, but I knew he had played. And I think it was Saturday, maybe a Saturday game, and I missed it. But I'll catch it. Like I said, YouTube is a wonderful thing. I'll catch the game. So the other thing was, the Lakers, after they traded AD, they needed a big man. They still were short big men. They have Jackson Hayes. They have Christian Koloko. And they have, I think, this guy named Jameson. And they have this other guy. God, I forgot his name. I know they got Jackson Hayes. The other guy that's hurt. Christian Woods. I'm sorry, Christian Woods. He's still hurt. He hasn't came back yet. So that's their big man. But they wanted another big man. And Luka kind of told them the kind of big man they wanted. So they went out and got this guy named Mark Williams from Charlotte. So the trade was Mark Williams was going to go to Charlotte, and in exchange, Charlotte was going to get Dalton Knecht and Cam Reddish with a couple of picks. So everything was good. Everybody was excited about it. This happened over the weekend. On the trade deadline. This is what it happened during the trade deadline, which was last Thursday. And everybody was excited about it. Like, yeah, okay, Lakers finally got their big man. They're going to look scary out there because they show, the kid's only 24 years old. And they said he has a high ceiling, and everybody loved him. And Luka said this is the kind of guy we need because, with pick and rolls, he can roll to the basket and get some lobs. So that's what it was. But then something crazy happened. Now, he was already hurt with the Hornets. But the Hornets, the medical record they got from Charlotte the Lakers got from Charlotte was that he was good. He was good to go. He had to go past physical, and he was good to go. So the Lakers did the physical. They said he didn't pass the physical. Now, what does that mean? That means the Lakers can rescind the trade. And what does that mean? That means that the piece they got, it's like taking your car back. Like you buying your car from a dealership, and the dealership say, well, you got 30 days if you decide you don't want the car, and bring it back. With some consequences. I don't know what the consequences are, but that's what happened. They got him. He failed his physical. So the Lakers were like, nope, send him back. And they're saying that it wasn't the back, because the back thing that kept him out was his back. But they're saying the physical had nothing to do with his back. It was some other issues that they found. They haven't released what issues are, and I don't want to speculate what those issues are. But they said that he didn't pass his physical. So because of that, the Lakers rescinded it. Now, two things happen out of that. One is Williams go back to Charlotte, and now Charlotte got to smile and go, hey, sorry, we got rid of you. But it is what it is, And then now Dalton Knecht and Cam Reddish comes back to L.A., and now L.A. got to do the same thing. Hey, sorry, it was just business. Was trying to make, Dalton Knecht, Cam Reddish was expendable because they had Jared, what's the guy name? Jared Vanderbilt came back. That's why Cam Reddish became expendable. Dalton Knecht, he's a good player. He's a rookie, good player. He can shoot the three, but his production has shot down since he started the league. And that probably happened because people started figuring out he can shoot. So they start guarding him different. And then I think on the defensive end, he was like a liability on defense. He wasn't really that defender. But so he started getting garbage minutes. And usually when a player gets garbage minutes, and I said this on my last podcast, that's like the graveyard shift. When you start giving garbage minutes, that means you're tradable. That means you're right for the trade. So it was just a financial thing. It didn't have to be him. It could have been anybody else, but it just happened to be him. Now they have to welcome him back, him and Reddish back. But I think Cam Reddish kind of knew that he was going to be traded. Dalton Knecht didn't know. I probably threw him up for a loop. Like they traded me. Wow. But it could be a good thing or a bad thing. They could have traded him saying that, we can't give you the minutes you need, so we're gonna trade you to a team where you'll definitely get a chance to start. Because Charlotte was like one of those not up and coming, but they're not doing as well. So he would have flourished in Charlotte because he would have got more playing time. They tried it in LA. They experimented when he first came in, and they gave him playing time, and he did okay. But then all of a sudden, I think they call it the rookie wall. I think he hit that rookie wall, and his production started going down. I mean, one game I think he had like 30 something points. He was just bam, 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 bam. And then next couple of games, I guess everybody figured out who he was and how he can shoot. They changed the way they guarded him. They didn't leave him wide open. And now he's starting to get his confidence back a little bit because he start playing better a little bit. But I don't know what does that do for his psyche coming back. So like I said, yeah, that's why they rescinded the trade. It said rather than the Pelinka have results to show after his first game meeting with Doncic at the team practice facility on February 3rd, when Luka Doncic handpicked Williams for the GM to attempt to land, a source familiar to the matter said the first transaction of their partnership defaulted. So, which means that Luka said, "I'll stay if you do this for me." How does that affect? Don't know. I don't know how does it affect Luka. I don't think it's going to affect it that much because it wasn't really Lakers' fault that he failed his physical. They did what he did what he asked them to do. They went out and got him a big man that he can use. So I don't think he's going to blame him too much about it. It's part of the game. And I'm sure the Lakers are either going to try to find a center off the buyout market, or they'll probably try to run with what they got and take it to the summer and see what happens then. See if they can find somebody during the summer. But right now they're playing pretty well. What they have. Jackson Hayes playing the middle. They've been doing pretty good. They've been doing pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. That's my phone ringing over here. I don't know why it's ringing. Hold on one second. Let me get this phone. So anyway, like I said, phone ringing out. It is what it is. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's going to change the way Luka feels about the Lakers because they did go out and try to, help him and get him somebody. But we'll see. Now the team is left with like I said, they left with Jackson Hayes, Christian Woods, Christian Koloko, and Trey Jameson III. And we'll see how that goes. It's going to be kind of interesting in the playoffs because Lakers got, there's teams in the playoffs that have big men. So it's going to be interesting. You got the Rockets got a big front. Memphis has a big front. Denver has a big front. OKC has a big front. And those are teams that are going to challenge the Lakers in the playoffs. But we'll see how it goes. They've done pretty good. Like they played Boston without a big man, and they beat them. They played the Knicks, and Knicks has Karl-Anthony Towns, and they beat them. So it can be done. We'll see. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But for now, that's it from Ray on Sports. That's my time. That's all I got time for today. I try not to make it too long. 30 minutes is my max, but sometimes I go over a little bit when I get involved in it. But thank you guys for listening. This is Johnny Ray for Ray on Sports. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the show, please hit me up at rayonsports0905@gmail.com. Once again, that's rayonsports0905@gmail.com. This is Johnny Ray for Ray on Sports. Thank you for taking this ride. Take care, and God bless.